Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. How's it going?
It's going. I mean, I don't know what everyone else's lifestyle's like, but mine is very similar to this. So I think that everyone's getting like this. Uh, they're getting to understand what it's like for an introvert or even someone that works from home, which I work from home quite a bit, so it's not really that much different. But it just takes away a lot of those options that I have of like on my day off and I want to go out to eat or something, you know?
Gotcha. So what we're talking about is the effects of the coronavirus, and we're not going to go into the whole politics of it and all that crap. We're just going to talk about dealing with daily life under like the quarantine, under the stay-at-home order, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like how we're dealing with it, what's going on for the viewers. That way they know what's what we're talking about. We've been talking about it, but they might not know. But everybody's been dealing with some stuff in different ways. Like you said you usually stay home, right? That's your thing.
Yeah, I like to. I'm one of those people that just really enjoys being at home, and I'm a mom, so that requires being, having a little bit more time at home. I have a workroom where I sew, and I don't do it quite as much anymore. I've been a diet coach for several years, but you can almost do that anywhere. So why leave your house to go to work if you don't have to leave your house to go to work? So I really feel for those people right now that aren't able to have some other source of income right now that's streaming in that. But I've always had all these little side hustles. I think this would be a really cool time for people to kind of look within a little bit and maybe think about some other type of income resource for themselves where they can learn how to bring in money that's not contingent upon other people. Be a really good
Yeah.
idea.
Actually, and speaking of that, let me pull something up here. So like there's like new jobs that have been created because of the coronavirus. So
Yeah,
not
what
only
are they?
that's oh man, there's all kinds. Let's see here. I mean, I'm looking at the reported record-setting 3,283,000 people have filed for unemployment benefits the week ending March 21st. I mean, the ones that were hard hit were like hotels, airlines, restaurants, malls, department stores. Like
Yeah,
all that stuff
any sort
that
of
was.
luxury or anything that requires a crowd of people to be in a
Yeah,
room.
man. So it's gotten kind of crazy. Let's see what here. So let's talk about. Well, you know what? You want to talk about what this is, like what you and I are doing, like the name of the show. I mean, what's going on? Like,
Man, we just talk about whatever. It's just people hanging out. But as you can
that's
see,
right.
the way that I decided to cope with my quarantine is to dress like the Tiger King. I told y'all I was gonna do it for the rest of this
Let me
quarantine.
see the boots.
Y'all, I know he carries like a holster, but I don't really have a gun, so I just put on this fanny pack and I got
That's
my
where your
belt
French
buckle.
fries go, man.
And the shorts ain't short enough if you can't see the pockets. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I got like this little like auto parts plus NASCAR. I think I get like 20 points for that. Like,
That's
because
dope.
that's
Yeah,
two in one, baby. That's two in one. um, if you don't know who this guy is, Art works with Titan Medical. How do you even explain what you do? Because you do so much stuff. Like, how do you put that into?
well, the official title is media director and producer, event coordinator, all that good stuff. So I do a little bit of everything: video, photography, which it's kind of like I fell into photography kind of. Like when you visualize something, you want the right shot, but like of course nobody can get in your head and know what the hell you're thinking about. So I'm just
Right.
like, I'll do it. Fuck it, I'll do it myself. So all that stuff. Just
You do the videography, you do all the lives, you do all the
media, yeah, media in
um
general. Oh
yeah.
yeah, the lives. Wow, yeah. So the lives are like TV shows, and
You
then
make
the
all the
actual,
flyers and stuff too.
yeah, all the
So
graphics, the
um
animation,
yeah,
all the
what you've been with them for
everything.
how long now? Like over a year, 2 years?
Uh, I would say November 2018,
Mm-hmm.
November December, and I just officially put in my W-4 for Titan like last week,
Uh-huh.
and for me to find out like when I started there, I went to YouTube and I checked whenever the views started spiking. I was like, yeah, that's when I started. I helped
Right.
out.
Well,
Yeah,
that's cool. That at least you're doing something right. And I am who I am. I will let you decide that for yourself. It's whatever you think it is. male, female, whatever. I don't care anymore what people. I don't want to identify myself with anything. Nothing. I want to
So
leave it just completely open to be formless to do whatever it wants. Look how I'm talking myself. It.
there you go. Okay, so your noun is it.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that I do, and there's stuff that I do to make money, and there's stuff that I support because I love it. Titan's definitely one of them. My life's moving in a really cool, crazy direction, and yeah, I'm just kind of going with the flow. I mean, you could sit here all day and want something as bad as you want it. Doesn't mean that you're gonna create that. I think life kind of just there's this plan that's set in motion and for you, and you're just building some character along the way. I don't really fucking know anymore.
Well, actually, with that, I can bring up the title. Like you said, rent's due. Like it's about that grind. You can want all you want, man, but you got to do what you got to do to pay that rent.
Yeah, I came up with the title the other night. I was getting into bed and I was like, "Rent's due, motherfucker," and I was just thinking of it in terms of like us paying our dues to everything that we want in life or what we're trying to create, and then also the rent's fucking due as well, man. So you got to get up, you got to go to bed too. So it's just something that was on my mind, like when I was going to bed, man, rent's due. And that's all something that's in the center of everyone's mind right now as we're moving through this really radical change. I mean, what's happening right now, this is not something that we ever could have like mentally conceived to happen. It's always been like a story in the history book that we've seen. Like these people went through this really crazy depression and they had to eat cabbage. And now we're like in the middle of that shit where we're starting to experience, oh no, like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, they're going to talk about this era and they're going to talk about how there was no toilet paper on the shelves, which is like crazy. Like that's the one thing that like,
I have no idea how the connection came from coronavirus, toilet paper. Like
it wasn't, like I have a really good, you've been in the military, right? Weren't you in the military?
Yeah, I did a couple years.
Okay, so I don't know what your childhood was. Well, I do know what your childhood was like. We have very similar, like, interesting childhoods. And for anyone that had some sort of real difficulty in life, I don't think those were the people that went to the store and bought toilet paper that were worried about wiping their ass. We worried mostly about some of the real essentials, and yeah. But I like the fact that what is happening is bringing everyone back down to the reality of really those things that are important. I mean, what do you think for you it's done?
Well, I think it's helped everyone be more health conscious. Honestly, I don't know. It's created like this rift between everyone because obviously there's one side of it is like this bullshit, all propaganda, blah blah blah. And then the other side is like, oh, it's killing everybody, blah, blah, blah. So, like, there's the middle ground somewhere in there, but, like, the majority of people are, like, on either side of that. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really, like, I don't know, you're either on that side or that side. It's just, like, there's really nothing good coming out of this except for being more health conscious and spending more time with your family. But even that's got its drawbacks, man. Like, being at home all the time, that's rough, man. That's rough.
I've been pretty subjective to both sides of the coin, just given like American history and things that have happened and what has come out of it and what it meant. I mean, I won't get into all the conspiracies and stuff like that. I think they're fun.
So many.
I think they're fun to play with though and think about.
Hole, man.
But I've always questioned, one thing I've always done is question my reality because your reality is the extent of what you're willing to believe and it is the extent of what you're willing to experience. I was talking to my friend about that the other day. Like, for instance, my dog, he only goes to, he's blind, he's deaf. His reality is just me and my son and this yard. He doesn't go any far beyond that. But there's still a whole nother world out there that he hasn't explored that he doesn't even understand because he's a friggin' dog, But not just outside of that. I think just outside of ourselves, there's some things that weren't a reality to us last year that are now. And
Agreed.
so,
Yeah.
what is
Oh yeah.
fucking real?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on how much information and experience you have, right?
Yeah, but well, yeah, our personal experience, and then there's the whole thing where we're trying to get experience from other people, which like we never know who's a reliable source or not. I always defer to professionals, but even then, like say the news media outlets, like they're always like there's always a freaking agenda to everything. So it's like, man, like
Yeah.
I would listen to every doctor if I could, but like the doctors that are on TV, it's a little hard because you never know like what's going on with them behind the scenes, man.
Yeah, and that's why I like that we're doing this because I don't have any specific agenda but to hang
Yeah.
out and
Yeah.
talk to the people and chill and bullshit with you. And I've actually become pretty good friends with Art. A lot of people with Titan have come and gone, and that's perfectly normal and okay because everyone's life kind of evolves in a special, different way. And um, you've stuck around and you've done a lot for the company, and I think that we have that. Our core essence is in alignment. Our morals and our loyalty, and I
Damn
need
right.
those things to like. I need to look around my life and see those things match. You know. And if they don't, then I just don't want to look at it. Get it out of my face.
But yeah, that
Get
time
it
and
out of
effort.
here.
Get it out. Yeah, time and
I'm gonna
effort, man.
feed it to
That's
the
the key word.
lions. I'm just saying. I'm gonna feed it to the lions.
Hey, we'll talk about Tiger King too, man. I'm on episode. I just got to the one where we talked about Carol, and she talked about like they dug into all that stuff and all the conspiracies and all that, and then right at the end, there's Tiger King talking about everybody's afraid of Carol, but I'll take her on. I'll take her down. And then like I haven't seen the rest of it, but I know he's in jail right now, prison. So
Yeah,
like, damn,
it's a
man.
really interesting story. I watched it all in one night while I was sewing,
Oh wow.
and I thought it was really interesting because there's so many different perspectives, and whoever
Yeah.
like pieced that together, they pieced it together really great because one minute you're thinking one thing and the next minute it switches to this, so it plays a lot with the truth, and the truth is whatever you decide it to be. Honestly, did this happen or did this not happen, and did this person it's just very interesting, and I thought he was a
Yeah.
truly interesting character to watch, the Joe Exotic.
Everybody on that damn show, man. You know that whenever they shot that show, like they actually didn't tell a lot of the characters what they were doing because they knew like once they told them what they were doing and how they were going to portray them
Right.
on the show, they wouldn't even talk about them. So it was that's clever the way they made that. I mean, that's a hell of a show. Like people were always like, "Oh man, like what's the hype? What's the hype?" Like all that shit is real. Like those people live those crazy ass
Yeah.
lives, man.
But the
It's crazy.
foundation of who they are is still very much themselves. I really like people like that
They're not fake. They're not fake at all.
I like people that are just so in their own little fucking world, I mean, of weirdness. And I have my own little weird little world. And it's right now, like, yeah, everyone knows this is a wig. Yeah, I think everyone knows. If you're just
That's a
joining
wig?
us, this isn't my
No.
hair. I can literally rip it off my head.
Oh,
But, like, I
man.
went to a store last night and I was just bald and I had on some, like, short, really tight shorts. And there was, like, this group of guys, and they're looking at me. And I know they're talking shit because I just know when people talk shit, because they're whispering.
Yeah.
Why else would you whisper to your friend? Why wouldn't you just use a normal voice,
Yeah.
And for a second there, I thought about looking at him being like, y'all want to fuck? And I know that they didn't know. I know that they didn't know if I was a boy or a girl and they were confused. But I thought about saying that, but I didn't say it. Next time I'm going to.
Hey man,
So-
might make a new friend. You never know. Oh, speaking of that,
Uh-huh.
have you, like, the Corona thing? Let me look it up. Like, there's so many new things. Like, we'll go into the dating with the coronavirus because, like, you can't even go and approach those people anymore these days. You know what I'm saying? That would be breaking that 6-foot rule that society has right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be like, hey, what's up? Let's fuck.
Well,
It's
you're
almost
okay
like,
if your dick is 6 foot long.
well,
6 foot 1 inches.
Well, I'm pretty sure you know that's what I mean. All right, let's talk about that. So, all right, I got you. Hold on. Oh yeah. Okay. Dating. We're gonna talk about dating. Man, we're all over the damn place. That's okay. I like that. That's cool, man. That's all right.
We're just
So-
videotaping a phone conversation that we probably have with one another.
Yeah, I mean, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. We're all over the damn place. So yeah, like I mean, there's a picture of these two people that are on escalators. They're both wearing the masks, and like they're grabbing each other and all that stuff. But like this, like you're not even supposed to do that. Like they met like on a dating app. Like you're not even supposed to do that these days. Like it's crazy because given the whole contagious, not contagious thing, whatever,
Right.
like in the eyes of society, like you can be looked upon, like down upon by doing that behavior, which was normal 2 months ago. Now it's changed. It's all freaking changed.
Well, people are deeming it as a sign of disrespect, and to a degree, I can agree if the way that this thing seems to be spreading, and the way people are still continuing to. Okay, here's how I feel right now. It's pissing me off that people are pretending like nothing's going on, but it's also pissing me off that everyone's freaking out. So I need everyone somewhere in the middle of panic and I'm calm. And I don't know what the fuck that is, but
Yeah.
I'm a little bit tired of seeing everyone work out online, but I do think it's really great they're sharing it, and I don't know how to feel. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get you.
everyone's doing like these push-up contests and shit. Like, do 10 push-ups. Like, have you never worked out before? Like, 10 push-ups is not a lot. Like, what challenge is that? Like, oh,
That's
I'm good today. I don't have to work out. I did 10 push-ups. No, motherfucker. Like, that is like 2 seconds of a workout.
I'll do that like at the end of a big ass workout. But like that's just them like coping and just. I mean, what the hell else are they gonna do? The gyms are all closed up. That was a pretty big load.
I know, like I said, I think it's a good thing that people are sharing their at-home workouts, but it's also like getting on my nerves at the same time. So it's both.
Gotcha.
But I don't want you to not do anything because I need shit to look at,
Yeah. There it is. All right, so check this out. So there's a story up here talking about like relationships during coronavirus. Like this woman is racked with fever, confined to her two-bedroom apartment in Istanbul. Zeynep, 42 years old, was feeling trapped not only physically but psychologically. The husband she planned to kick out of the house and divorce after finding dating apps on his iPad 2 weeks ago was now lying in bed next to her because they both had coronavirus. So they had to stay confined to each other. Even though they had they were about to get divorced and all that stuff, now they're stuck for however how long. That's pretty jacked up, man. That's crazy. That's a thing.
Weird.
You can't just go. You can't just be like, yo, I'm gonna go get confined over here. Like, there's no space for that stuff. You're stuck here now. You're all in that house now. You're stuck, even though you guys are like at each other's throats. That's kind of.
But it's a 2-bedroom, so you go in one bedroom and I'll go in the other.
Yeah, but you possibly hate that guy. Now you're stuck with him for however fucking long.
Yeah, but that's like saying that you've never been in a relationship with someone that you disliked, because you always stay like an extra year longer with someone.
Well, this is the end of that year though. This is like like whenever you find out, like how messed up it is and it hits you so goddamn hard, your world is collapsing. That's happening fresh.
Well, two things either happen: either the War of the fucking Roses, or you learn how to get along. And
yeah.
I've never had an issue being surrounded by something that I didn't like. But now as I've moved into more adulthood, I've learned how to remove those things when and if possible, like I can exist in the same space with something that doesn't really necessarily make me feel good or happy. I mean, a lot of that just comes from ourselves anyways,
Yeah, but you're definitely not the average person. Like anybody look at it now.
Well, everyone fucking be more like me. God, I'm just kidding. That would bore the fuck out of me. Dude, if everyone was more like, I couldn't date myself. Are you kidding me? I couldn't make me happy. Huh?
What? I think you could.
No, I don't. Yeah, I met this guy and I've been talking to this guy a little bit, and complete total opposite of me. Complete sweetheart, super nice guy, and it makes me a little softer. Like I'm still me, the bitch, for the most part.
Okay.
I mean, if you speak your mind, you're a bitch, basically. Like, come on. I like how you rolled your eyes. The average female, if we have any feelings or any opinion about anything, the moment we open our mouths, we're a bitch. That's the reality.
You're talking about like some softies, man. Guys that are very easily.
How come we're sluts and guys aren't? How come girls are sluts and guys aren't sluts? So we're bitches and sluts, basically.
I don't know about all that. Like I respect women to the utmost, and like the way people, like the way society.
Now you're trying to. Here comes the agenda. I'm just kidding.
I
But seriously, there isn't a double standard between men and women a lot of the time. I mean, I'm not one of those feminists that I'm not out here parading for equality. I don't have some poster board as I slowly push this poster away that I've made so it doesn't accidentally.
What did it say?
It will say, "Chop your fucking dick off." I saw that on the Chris D'Elia show the other day. Chop your fucking dick off.
It's funny as shit. Chris D'Elia, his show is called Congratulations. Check it out, podcast. Shout out to Chris.
Yeah,
D'Elia.
I love Chris D'Elia's show. It makes me giggle, it makes me laugh. He has a very strong opinion, and even if it's not really his opinion, sometimes he's just being funny, and that's kind of how I am too. Like, I don't really have feelings about much of anything that doesn't really concern me at the moment. So, I don't know. That's my favorite thing to say.
You just do your thing, man. So, anyways, going back to the whole thing where if just because you're nice and all that stuff, or you have a strong-willed mind, you're a bitch, that's bullshit. I don't believe in that. You know me. I'm old school though. I think that's a new way of thinking.
Well, you know what? We've also created this platform where everyone thinks their opinion has to be valid and accepted. Like you can think something without ever having to like leave an ugly fucking comment under something that someone said, you know? Like,
yeah, it's it.
Everyone, I've been making face masks, so if anybody wants one, reach out to me. But I posted that I was making face masks, and you know, there was a couple of people that had an opinion about how it's not effective. Okay, great. I'm not here to decide whether it's effective or not, but why are hospital staff asking people that sew to make them? Why? Hospital staff. But you that doesn't work in a hospital want to sit here and chime in. It's not effective. You know?
Keyboard warriors.
Okay.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, the keyboard gangsters.
Okay, you just walk around like in the air, like, you know what I mean? I'll try not to cough in your mouth, you know what I mean?
There you go. But they work too. You know what? Actually, so.
Does that turn you on? Did that turn you on, though?
No, not even a little bit. I mean,
whatever.
Look at my face mask. This is one that I got.
I'm in the process of making you, and what does it say? Catnip? Hey, that's an eye mask.
Yeah, look, I got, and I have another one. So if you want to be anti-social as fuck, you just get your. We won't say where I got this one from. Then you got your total.
You're doubling up. Yeah. That is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, this mask is for sleeping. I'll say that.
I just want to make something where I walk around with some blinds in front of me. And I have like a little twisty where if I want to, I can just peek out so I can see where the fuck I'm going. Leave me alone. I'm on a lot of cocaine. I totally had a dream last night about fucking cocaine. Like, I was a drug dealer last night. That shit was crazy. I woke up like, let's get it. Let's do something.
Was it a good job?
Huh?
Did you do that job? Was it a good job for you? Like, was it a good fit?
I mean, it felt like I was... It felt the same that it would feel if I was doing it in my normal life, that I shouldn't be doing this, you know?
So you put in this shift last night and you're like, yeah, I'm good. That's not the job for me.
Yeah. But speaking on the thing that you talked about dating and the coronavirus, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't even been on my Tinder because I don't want to sit here and have conversations and get to know people that are stuck at home. They're just going to ask for nude pictures or... show me their dick. I'm over that shit. Like, yeah, that's pretty much what's gonna happen if you're meeting people online right now, in my opinion. They're gonna want to talk about a lot of fucking nonsense and just send pictures when I'd rather just show a little bit of interest in someone. Hey, let's go grab something to eat. That's more of like my speed. But also, I saw these two people, a guy that like lived in New York, and he saw a girl on a rooftop and she was like dancing around. So he took his drone and wrote his number on the drone, sent his drone over to her. Now, there's cooties on that even then still, supposedly, right? Let me send you the coronavirus.
Right,
and right, so she called him on the phone and he was like, let's go on a date. And she's like, I don't know how this is going to happen. So he says, I'll figure it out. He gets the roommate of the girl to set up on the rooftop, like, little like a microwave food meal or something and a bottle of wine and a table with flowers, and he had the same thing in his little window, and they FaceTimed each other. So that
See,
was
like
really cute.
to women, that's romantic. To me, I'm just like, I know guys, and we always have the hidden agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, like I've been the fuck boy. Like I know what's up. Like I know how shallow we can be and how sneaky and shit. Like to me, it's either like he's actually super romantic, or he's just desperate and he's like, I can do this and then I can get some. Like but that's a lot of work. I think that would probably fall under romantic.
But I mean, I guess maybe there are some nice guys out there though that don't have an agenda.
Far and few, though. Far and few, for sure.
You know, and sometimes you're just too fucking stupid to see it. Okay, I'm going to tell you like a little bit of something from my personal life. I've had a guy pursuing me for 2 years and literally sat up in my bed the other night and was like, does this guy fucking like me? Because he always sends me stuff. And I was like, wait. So I asked him the next day, I was like, do you like me? And he was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, wait, do you like me? And he was like, yes. And I'm like, he doesn't live here. He lives in another state. But he's been the nicest person, always checking on me, sending me stuff for my birthday or just whatever, if there's a holiday and I was, for some reason, my brain could only see the fact that this guy that I like isn't doing this stuff, you know? But I got this one over here doing it the whole time, right? But I couldn't.
Your radar's fucked
I'm
up.
fucking dumb. I can't even realize that this guy likes me, you know?
Okay, now this other guy, the nice guy, is he your type?
I don't have a type. I don't have a type.
Are you sure? Because like,
I don't have a type. Okay, if you want to know my type, normally, are you talking about what I'm attracted to?
Yes.
I'm attracted to like everything. Like, are you kidding me? Now, typically attraction for me, like if I see someone that's attractive, I know they're attractive because society's taught me that, right?
Okay.
That there's this particular bar for level of attractiveness for people. So like, yeah, he's got blue eyes and he's good looking. It does not mean that I'm attracted to him, you know? But as far as like me having some aesthetic thing that I have to have in a person, like it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
Once I get to know someone a little bit, then attraction is something that kind of has to build with me, you know?
Gotcha. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is like there's a difference between like, say there's a fuck boy who's shallow and selfish. Would you be attracted to that as opposed to somebody that's nice to you and generous and just, you know, an all around good guy? I mean, that is a type.
Yeah, but I think there's like two sides to us, you know, like the side of us that knows that we want something long term and we want something that's healthy, but then there's also the side of us that wants a fucking cheeseburger.
Gotcha.
And some fries and a fucking milkshake and a pizza. And the fuck boys, they're that fucking, you know, they're a bag of Doritos. They're the fucking Oreos.
And that's why they exist, because women, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
every once in a while you need a little snack.
Yeah, all right, then y'all. All right, now so y'all can't be getting mad at them because they are what they are, because they're kind of sort of influenced to become that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think there's also something that comes along with thinking that you can make something better. You know, and it's not this desire necessarily to change the whole of someone, but for you to be able to positively impact someone that they could love you enough that maybe something would be different, you know?
Yeah, but you're way up here right now. Like they're down here. They're like they're not even thinking that deep, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes years to become just fully aware. Like I wasn't even self-conscious till I was like 25 years old. You know.
But what's you know, if we're gonna really talk about that, then what is the actual attraction to things that are unhealthy for us? What is it? It's like this momentary pleasure without a lot of work. You know, it's not this long-term fulfillment. And if you look at society now, everything is built around convenience. So I really don't know why so many people are freaking out in terms of having to stay at home, because you can get so many of the conveniences that you want at home. You're just not able to get your fucking nails done and shit. But
instant gratification, yeah.
I mean, you're able to order any food that you want.
Dude, it's like a hurricane You've got your power still. You've got your electricity. You can Uber. You can do everything you can do, just except for like go out because all the stores are shut down. Like, you can even still do that. You can even still do that. We have, and it's just we're not.
My sister, me and you are workaholics, so we're a little bit different. Now, my sister's a little bit more extroverted. She likes to go out. She likes to party. She likes to have fun, and she's struggling with it a little bit. So, but I think this is a really good time for people to turn inwards and slow down. Because you can't, when you're always go, 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 even for us, people that are workaholics, when you're go, 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 you don't get to stop and feel. And when you're not stopping and feeling some of the effects of a lot of the decisions you've made, or even thinking about some of the changes in your life you'd like to make, you're just continuously running through the same day over and over again. It's Groundhog Day.
You're not worried about it.
Yeah. So I think it's a good moment for people to stop and breathe and do that thing that you have been saying that you're going to do, that you haven't done, that you need to do, whatever that is.
You got time? Yeah, you got time now, for sure.
Spend some fucking time with your family. I think we just have a problem with authority. Like, don't make me do this. Let me do it on my own accord, But as far as everyone else right now, like, I was lucky to get some help from my banks, and so I don't have to worry about some of the bills that I normally have. And so I'm learning how to just be grateful for all those little things right now again,
Yeah,
all the
little things add up. They do add up.
Yeah.
I was talking to John the other day, and he was talking about like 50% of people. I mean, it's not an exact number, you keyboard warriors out there, but like there's a high number of people that are check by check. So like that's a real reality check, and there are.
Oh yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you have sweat stains too. Shit. Yeah, dude. I'm not even hot.
You're just one drop.
I just stay wet.
I forgot
getting texts as we
talk. I was gonna call you him. Joe Vegas. Damn it. Joe
Exotic.
Exotic, my bad. Joe Exotic. Okay, guys. You think he cares about sweat stains? Hell.
Shit. I am one giant sweat stain. I've been one of those people for a long time that's check to check. Just being a single mom and not having help, child support, fending for more than one person, feeding more than one person. I work different types of jobs. It hasn't been easy, but what I'm doing gives me the ability to be at home more with my son, and that's pretty fucking valuable. I mean, yeah.
So speaking about kids at home, man, homeschooling. Now, I've seen a lot of people's posts on Facebook, man, so I think their kids are going to suffer being homeschooled because a lot of people just don't have a lot of common sense, man. So hopefully
they're not prepared. Like, as far as like some of the homeschoolings, they're having it done like online, and there's no, like, my son goes over and checks to see if they've uploaded any work. No, they haven't. It was like late in the day the other day, so they don't have some particular schedule or regiment of the way they're doing it. They're just as lost as everyone else.
Yeah, you need structure, for sure.
But this is, we already know, I think everyone already knows how bad this is going to hurt the economy, how bad this is going to hurt our kids. It's going to reflect on everything. I remember years ago when the housing market crashed, and it was during that time that I was in the construction field. I had spent my whole life building this career for myself, and I was a foreman at the time, so I had worked my way up from the bottom to the top where I was able to run job sites, and I slowly watched my life just completely unravel in this particular time frame. And it wasn't like, leave and go find a job somewhere else. There was no work across the board. So I have experience with this shit happening before, and it's not good, but it's not bad, And as I don't know who's watching this, but this is the same shit as if you've ever had to start all over again with anything else, whether it was a breakup or a death in the family or learning a new job, or it starting over is like starting over, you know? And a lot of people are going to be at that particular place in life. And
Yeah.
I think if you're going to start over, it's a good time to start choosing the things that you really, really want.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think and after all this, the economy, even though like there hasn't been much work, I think it's going to be booming once we get back because people are going to be so fucking ready to work.
Yeah, we're all going to be like super competitive.
Forget about it. I mean, I was talking to people at work, and they're like, John was thinking like, things might stay like this, like the whole 6 feet thing and all that stuff. But like, I just don't believe that it's gonna go back to the way it was. I think we're just more conscious about health. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's gonna change that much. Like our physicality and all that stuff. That's just, we're humans, man. We crave physical, touch and all that stuff. So I just don't think that we're gonna do the whole 6 foot thing all the time. Even though I just don't think so, man.
Well, I don't know like how often like you get laid, but I'm just gonna say it. But I went through a long year last year where I had this necessity to like focus on myself, but I still had like these needs and they didn't really get met,
You made me cover up, by the way. You made me all defensive over here.
Right? You're covering up your boner? Sorry.
Goodness.
Hey, look, if we're going to do this, I want the freedom to talk about whatever I want to talk about, okay?
Granted.
But this, I'm almost 40. If I can't talk about having sex by now, like, just forget about it.
Yeah.
But as far as when it came to having sex, like, I have all these, like, morals and things, and then you have to meet someone that you like, and by the time you get older, it's just like, it becomes even harder to feel attracted to someone, So I've, like, even gone without that for long periods of time, just because I don't bring people to my home. I'm not willing to just go to your home. If you're listening out there, I'm letting you know how I work right now.
Write this shit down.
This is no recipe to sleeping with. There's no recipe, okay?
Well, there's minimums now. We know the standards.
Right? I mean, you should have those standards and things of alignment. But people didn't really please me that much anyways, People are very selfish in that department. And if you're watching this and we've recently, don't call me.
Check your pulse.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
So here, real quick, what's the longest you've ever gone without having sex?
Like, I went blind, so I can't remember. No, I'm just kidding.
I can tell you exactly.
I feel like it was like over 7 or 8 months or something like that.
I've got you beat. I was for over a year.
Over a year?
Yeah. I was deployed, so you can't really do much when you're deployed anyway. So.
But there's also some people that maybe I just are very forgettable. That.
Oh damn! That's wow. It never works.
Dude, literally have gotten dressed and then be like, "We should do that again," and I'm like, "Do what?"
Wow.
Or I remember like this one guy I hooked up with, and he was like, he starts talking afterwards, which was like 5 minutes, right? He starts talking about work. Like, no, I'm not your therapist. I got up and got dressed and left. I mean, I'm not here to talk about your work life.
Yeah. How you feeling? Yeah, especially after that performance.
Call your friends. I'm gone. Bye.
So, all right, another standard, more than 5 minutes. Got it. All right, put that on the list. Whoever.
I think it just comes down to the lack of someone wanting to make sure that you are fulfilled as well, and that,
Yeah, selfishness, honestly, like that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of it out there. There's a lot of it. But I also heard someone talk about the other day, like, who was it that I heard? They were talking about, like, when you meet a girl and you're like, God, I like her so much, and I really like this girl, and then you sleep with her and you're like, maybe I don't like her. Like they said that
I
that's
was
like
just gonna
a
talk about that.
that's a real thing. Like
You for
afterwards, you just realize that you just wanted to have sex. That was it.
guys, man, like for us, like that moment after orgasm, it's like this clarity because you don't have that agenda. Like I said, most guys, we're knuckleheads and we're selfish and we're just simple as fuck. And like we always have that agenda if we're after somebody, especially if we're after somebody we like sleep with them, and then like that's the goal. We don't have a game plan after sometimes. Like there's no fucking like after. So it's like so once you sleep with them, then what? Then you're just like shit. Now what?
That's like after
You
you
know?
kill someone and you're like, I didn't realize I was gonna have to hide the body, right?
Well, I mean, if you want to put it to that, okay.
You didn't plan your escape, buddy. So y'all need to plan your escapes prior.
Man, we should talk this plan your escapes, buddy.
You know
There
what
it is.
though? I've had like a weird run of guys that want to stay the night. Like afterwards, like I want you to go the fuck home. We want you to go home too. The same way you want to kick us out of your house, right? I don't want to hear you fucking snore in my bed.
You don't even know if you like. Well, okay. Now, are we talking one night stands or like people you've been talking to?
What's that?
Are we talking like one night stands or people that you've been talking to on that one? Because
Probably
like,
both.
Oh, well, I mean, I would assume like if you're talking to somebody and you sleep with them, like you like them enough to be like, hey, let's have a morning. This, I guess, depending on how long and how serious it is. One night stands, get the fuck out of here. I'm sure, of course. You ain't get my chicken sandwich in the morning. My omelets, get out of here, man.
Look, get your stuff and go. My kid will be home in the morning. I can't.
With your tidy whities.
Look, and sometimes my kid's bigger than some of these dudes, right? Because you know my kid is like a giant, right?
That's on you now. That's you picking them boys.
I feel like my son would meet him and be like, "Is that my stepdad?" I'll be like, "Kind of," because he has joke. No, like he's a jokester, you know. But no, I don't know. I'm a little bit different. I can't speak on behalf of all women. I really cannot because I barely understand girls too. So I understand dudes though, pretty much. I do. I really understand like a guy's point of view. It's a little bit more grounded. Yeah, I said.
I think it sounds like you relate more to dudes than to females dudes. To males.
What gave you that idea, buddy?
Did you ever date a female?
I did a long time ago when I was in my early 20s. I dated a girl for like, I want to say we were on and off for like over a year, you know? She was very masculine. A chick that was in the military for some time, but she wasn't when I dated her. I worked at a gay club for a long time. So I've always kind of like just been around it. I've never been that accepting of that part of myself, you know? I don't necessarily know why. I think it's my preference to be with a man. But if I met a female, I would be okay with that. But mostly it's just if I like girls now, it's just like a sexual thing. Yeah, I just said that, yeah.
Pretty simple. Hey.
Call me, we can get weird.
Stacy, you gotta be ready to wear a wig or snatch hers off when she wants you to.
Yeah, but there again, it kind of comes back to like my level of attractiveness. Like when I'm attracted to people, it's more about like feeling attracted to the person, you know? But also, so what is attraction? Are you operating, when you're attracted to someone, are you operating from a particular level of deficiency of some sort of like attribute that you don't have, you know?
That you're looking for somebody else?
Like, yeah, instead of like working on building it yourself, you know? Because for some time in my life, it was like I dated a man because he was able to provide for me in a special way that I wasn't able to provide for myself. But when I was able to do that, I wasn't attracted to him anymore because there wasn't anything special about him anymore, you know?
Needs.
Yeah. Are we attracted to people based on some survival mechanism, you know, like?
I'm sure, well, yeah, that's like the whole basis between like the traditional like male and female relationship, because like traditionally it's always like the male provides for the female, right?
Right. So well, I've been the other for periods of time in my life.
Yeah, but like I think like for the past maybe 40 years, 40, 50 years, like gender roles have changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, 30, 40 years ago, it was always like the man provides for the woman. Nowadays, like with all the LGBT and all that stuff and the feminist movement, and all that, like those things have changed. Like now women are equal. They've been equal, obviously, but like they're stronger than ever now. And so I mean, you're here for that time, so you're a part of that now. Like that's your mentality. You don't even see it as anything else right now because that's you are just who you are, and you can handle your own shit. But society's eyes, traditional. Come on now, it's always been like the woman gets married to the guy and he provides, and then they're that's the way it's been. But that's old school thinking.
Yeah, I would consider myself pretty old fashioned, but I'm not afraid to like I remember when I was in the construction field and I made a lot of money back in that time because I was a foreman and I was dating a guy that was a boxer and he was on the verge of turning pro, and I remember telling him and giving him the opportunity to stop working and to train full time, and he didn't take it. But there was also a time when I was with someone and he didn't have work and he just took care of my son, and we were married actually. So, but he took care of my son while I worked. So
Gotcha. It's just sort of so different situations. That's cool. But you can adapt though. You're a lot of people. It's hard for them to adapt. Like I know people that'll just they'll post on social media like all men are pigs, all men are pigs. Then you'll see her last 10 boyfriends, same haircut, same
haircut.
same everything. You know what I'm saying? Like same just genre, just type of guy. And it's just like the common denominator here is you picking these guys. So like,
Well, there's a reason why you're not attracted to certain types of things, because maybe it's not who you are, you know? I'm attracted to really nice, sweet guys, and that is my most not dominant trait. Like, I'm friendly. Don't get me wrong. It takes effort, though, for me to be friendly. I'm totally conscious of the opportunity to be a bitch every time it pops up, and I'm like, choose the other thing. Okay, then whatever comes out. But I'm really attracted to very nice, sweet, even like small dudes. Love me a small dude. I will date a guy that's like 4 foot tall.
I think that's your preference. That's what I'm saying. I know you have preferences, and that's cool, man. You like what you like. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I'm automatically dominant. Automatically. I've dominated you just because I'm taller.
Yeah. So physicality doesn't really mean much, like in the mindset that I can't really, like, I don't give a shit if a guy's 10 feet tall or 3 feet tall. Like, I treat them the same. To me, like, I don't give a damn. But a lot of people equate size with dominance, and that's like an animal thing, though.
Yeah, that's our reptilian brain, and that's dating has. We'll talk about this next time on the next episode, like the difficulty of dating when you are a bald chick that's big,
Yeah.
Same shit. I mean, I need to wear a shirt that just says I have a vagina, I feel like
I've never thought of you anything other than Stacy, one of my coolest, like, most loyal female friends. Like,
yeah, people are just like, you were born a female, and I'm like, yeah.
I mean, this is gonna sound weird, but like, I've always known you had a vagina. Even like when you look like bald and masculine, like that never.
Look, if you saw it right, if I drop my fucking pants right now and you saw it, you'd be like, "What kind of animal is that?"
Fucking Joe Exotic outfit.
And we're in the forest.
You could fucking put antlers on your head and grow fucking hooves. Like, you would still be the same Stacey to me. Like, the inner core you. Like, your outer covering to me means like nothing, honestly.
I don't know what people expect. Like, you take my childhood and then you take my adulthood and you add those two things up. I could do it on this chalkboard behind me, but you add those two things up. You were going to build some fucking machine woman that's tough and a little bit mean but weird. And that was going to happen. That was going to happen. That was the recipe, for this.
Gotcha.
It came out very Joe Exotic, motherfucker. I just
Well,
don't
you,
have cats. I have chihuahuas, you know?
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I never, even like growing up as like a really, really young girl, I never felt like this, I never felt like it was important, you know? I think that sort of comes from just the necessity to survive, you know?
so that's tied into like a hard upbringing though, like a hard life. So that kind of there was more important things to worry about. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like when you were younger, you had a hard upbringing too, where your mom had to work like crazy. Like, do you
Yeah.
remember constantly just like, I'm a boy, I'm a boy, I'm a
You know
boy?
what?
Like,
You're right. Like if you think about it, like the more you suffer, like the less you worry about like all the trivial shit. Like, and that's what it is. Like a lot of people worry about like fucking like vegan and gluten
and
free food.
toilet
I'm sorry to
paper.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like, come on, man. There's so much more important things to worry about in the world. Some people don't even eat for crying out loud. Like,
I know, and
I can't believe they.
I was talking to
I
Chrissy
get you.
last night. Chrissy's one of our friends, and she also works for Titan. And she was like, I haven't been able to get my eyebrows done and my nails, and it was like we have all these first world problems, you know. And
Yeah,
I think it's kind of good that we're all getting back to the basics of just work is important, being able to eat's important, having a place to live is important, and I think that that's going to be able to like center us in a special way again, you know,
yeah,
because we can get so far away from that, and we're just like, where am I going this weekend? And you know,
yeah.
like
They
it's
messed up my
reminding us,
latte this morning. My day's over. Oh my god. Yeah, all that shit.
yeah. So, what kind of first world problems are you having right now?
Um, dude, like I'm simple, man. Like I'm a simple man. Like I'm good. I have none at all. Like I
You
just
know, I
do.
think it kind of comes down to like the fact that you're just like me, or one of these like extremely resourceful people that if I can't get chicken, then I'll get this. You know, if I can't
Yeah,
get this, then
right.
I'll get this. You never
Yeah,
stop looking for that solution for your problem, you know?
yeah. I'll be good. I'm not worried, and I just don't complain. I just truck. I just keep on trucking, man. That's
Yeah.
all.
But you know, I learned that that survival mentality can hurt you a little bit, and that it's not wrong for people to think the way that they think, because
Yeah,
and
yeah,
when you have a thriving mentality, it is because you focus on the thing that you do want, and you're not willing to accept anything else sometimes, you know, because you just end up with a lot of things that you really don't desire when
yeah. And you're just accustomed to certain things, and I mean, when they're taken away, then it's an issue because that's what you're used to. So
yeah,
that doesn't make
so you'll get it back. But
yeah,
I think there's good to both, and then there's bad to both, you know. But
yeah,
I feel like since all this shit's happened, it's like, welcome to my childhood.
yeah. Yeah, even now, like man, I'm
Welcome to
good.
single
Like
motherhood,
it could be
where you're
so
just
much
panicking
worse.
all the
So
time.
worse.
What'd you say?
Yeah, it could be so much worse, man.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and yeah, it can be. I realize that too. My mom has a lot of breathing issues, and she's always had difficulty breathing. Not a smoker, nothing of that nature, never did drugs, never, you know, huffed anything or anything like that. Just has always had a legit issue breathing. And I made her some masks and I took them to her the other day, and I couldn't even hug my mom, you know?
oh, dude, yeah, yeah.
I couldn't even hug my
Well, weird.
mom.
Isn't
And
that weird?
I
So
honestly, like, I don't always want to hug my mom because I'm just not very affectionate type of person. But I was just very aware that that option isn't there. And I think when you put people in a position and you take away some of their options, even though they're things that they wouldn't have chosen anyways, like the fact that you live in a really cool city and you can't go to the beach right now, and you can't even go out to eat right now if you want, or go have a drink after work if you want. You don't want to probably really do half those things, but just for the simple idea that you can't, it
yeah,
just makes you want it even more. So,
yeah, and it's weird. It's just like, why can't I? Like, what's gonna happen if I don't? Slap on the wrist or whatever the hell. Like now,
yeah.
it's like I miss it, man. I can't wait to go have a drink, man. God, you have that urge, but it's like it ain't real, man. But hey, that's the urges that we have.
Yeah. I'm sticking with the rules of everything. Whether I believe in it or not, I do believe in some of it. most definitely as the truth. Um, but I'm just going off of what I'm being told. I have no way to prove if that's real or not. I don't have a way to go to the hospitals and check if this many people are being hospitalized for this or this many people. We have to trust that society's telling us the truth, you know? And that's the shitty part. um, but I'm basing everything off of what they're asking, and that's out of respect for society. You know,
Yeah. Well,
I'm limiting how much I go out, which has basically been maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on what I need, and just following the rules. But it's absolutely impossible to not touch stuff. You have to touch the fucking cart. You have to touch. Who didn't touch this box of food before I touched it, or you know?
Dude, everything, man. Like my friend was using the keypad, and I'm like, "Well, what are you doing? Wipe that shit down." And she was just like, and I'm just like, not even just for the fucking coronavirus. Like, there's just some nasty ass people out there, just germs in general. Like, the flu kills way more people than anything. So like, just wipe it down. Like, you're right. There's no way this is gonna work unless we shut everything down. And like, especially supermarkets. Holy crap! People do not give a damn. Like, unless you have law enforcement in there, like keeping people 6 feet apart, it ain't gonna work, man. Just it's either like open up the economy again or just lock it down.
Well, I mean, also like it's allergy season too. You know, my son has shitty allergies and he'll just sneeze. It doesn't mean he's fucking sick, but it also doesn't mean that, you know, what's coming out of him.
Yo, you get like the stand.
I'm like stuff. We live in Florida. It's so stuffy down here. Like I woke up today and I'm like, so. I mean, it's welcome to Florida. Where your car's covered in pollen half the time. Yeah. You know.
All right. So it's been like 2 days since we started. So let's do one more thing, and then we'll go ahead and end the show. But I wanted to ask you, what do you miss the most right now? You know, pertaining to what we can't have. Like what luxury? Because it is a luxury.
I would say the one thing I miss the most right now isn't the most obvious. People think, oh shit. People think that I would say the gym, and it's not because I have the ability to train from home. I just decided to take a week off. I miss that time that I got to spend with myself just going out to eat, where someone else served me, you know, where I went into this place and just sat down and had a moment to just breathe and just be served by someone else, and not eat out of a fucking, you know, 4x4 plastic container of the same damn meal.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So I used to do that once a week to just, I have to put effort into not working. So on my days off, I would just go do something like that mostly.
Okay. Yeah, just to blow off some steam a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have any like fabulous. Well, I miss. You know what? If we're gonna be really honest, I miss going out on my yacht. Like I don't have that life. Like I don't have that life that everyone else has. Like I live in a trailer park. My outfit is appropriate. If I walked outside right now, people wouldn't even freak out. They'd be like, "Oh, nice choice." You know, where'd you get that hat? Where'd you get that hat at? That's
nice. 2 points. No.
They'd be like, I have the same glasses at home, sunglasses, you know? Like, so, my lifestyle has been very similar to this with just small moments here and there where I would go to a coffee shop, have coffee, or...
I like doing that, yeah.
I really haven't even been dating very much because I haven't met anyone that I'm really that interested in, so I'm dating for. So.
Yeah, so you're good. So minimal changes, but...
What about you?
I think that, like, I used to like to go out, like, I used to go to bars and such, like, just by myself, and I would just buy people drinks. And then I would just watch them, and I would just talk to them and just hang out. Like, I would just see, like, the progression from, like, people getting there 8 or 9 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock, people getting smashed, 11 o'clock, and then people just destroyed, just being so friendly with everybody just because, you know, the social lubricant. Like, I just used to like watching people just have a good time. Like, at bars and stuff, just go out there and just buy drinks for people. I kind of miss that. It's weird.
Yeah. I can understand that.
That and strip clubs, of course. You know.
Look, them dollar bills are extra dirty right now, okay? I mean, I've sat and thought about that the other day, like, what's going on with all these strippers right now? Like, hopefully they've been able to turn into some fans only or do some
Only
cam
fans,
work or something of that nature,
yeah,
because
go for it.
they're definitely out of work. They're definitely
Yeah.
out of work, you know? So, um, if you're resourceful, you'll find a way to, get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just keep your
Hell yeah.
morals, just keep your morals intact,
Yeah.
kids.
Well, I mean, hey, if you're already doing certain things for money, I mean, now you don't even have to touch anybody. Go for it, man. Make that OnlyFans account, girl. Make that
Man,
money.
I've had a long talk with a stripper like that. I'm like, like you could be doing some of this online, not even have to leave your house, and probably make
Yeah.
triple the money that you're making right now.
That's the age we're in. Might as well utilize it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm so far right now. I haven't had to turn that corner in my life. I know that road is constantly branching off of the road that I'm currently on in my path, and it's there. It's there. It's there. I was talking about the other day about like doing some weird stuff like with food, just like smashing shit with my tits, like.
Well, now I've gotta ask, like, what kind of stuff would you smash, like, with your tits?
Fucking muffins and shit, like
like
all
soft
carbs.
Soft stuff.
Like
Would
biscuits.
you eat it afterwards?
Like biscuits with gravy on them.
Damn, that sounds good.
I don't know. I talked like just weird stuff like Twinkies and stuff that's creamy.
Yeah. Stuff with the sauce on top.
Yeah, like log on today, watch me roll around in a pie. Like you don't have to be sexual to be sexual, but to be sexy and weird. So it'd be something weird like that.
Hey man, that actually sounds kind of fun. So
it does.
So if somebody else sexualizes it, it's a fetish, in that way. That doesn't mean it's that's your fetish. So go for it, man. Have fun. I mean, dude, I would probably sign up for your OnlyFans.
I know.
No bullshit. I'd be like, it wouldn't be sexual law. I'd be like, man, I wonder if she's gonna go for the apple or the rhubarb pie today.
Yeah.
Find out.
Find out on this episode of OnlyFans.
Maybe some melted marshmallows on top. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, just rubbing like that fluff. You can buy that marshmallow fluff.
Yes.
Just rubbing fluff all over my traps. And
oh snap!
I don't have to go that route just yet, so I'm good.
So if anybody's interested, go ahead and drop your comments on the comments below, and if you're interested, DM Stacy, and we'll see if we can get you guys some video, something going on. Make some extra money.
Don't do that. Now they're gonna do it. Like we're just being
#,
funny. Like none of this is real. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was great talking to you again. And
good talking to you too. Let's definitely do this again. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And we don't know what direction this is going in, but it's going. It's going. It's happening.
Not a clue. Yeah. So we'll do this again next week for sure, and we'll have this episode out as soon as I can get to it. Maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, and we'll see what happens. We'll do it on Facebook and YouTube, and then we'll just see what happens with the rest of it. Podcasting for sure.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.